How you doing, all? BarCast. BarCast. BarCast.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the BarCast. It is episode 8.
I know, 8.
Oh, it's going well. It really is.
I know. It was the last few episodes that I've gotten some quite good feedback from, so we're really enjoying making these. So,
They are good for sure.
and you know what? Today, Mark, do you know what we have in store?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, we got another special guest.
We do indeed.
Now, before he comes on, we obviously have to introduce him. For context, he's a long friend of mine and Mark's, a very long friend, in fact. He helps me out with a lot of my music stuff. He's tough when he needs to be, but he's always honest. He's a sly little fox sometimes. I'll give him that. Bit too honest, a bit too blunt, but we love him for it.
Oh yeah,
Ladies,
wouldn't have money other way.
My manager, Scott Hewitt. And here he is. Hey Scott, how you doing, bud?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Good to have you on.
It's glad to be here. Made the effort. All.
It's evident you've made more effort than I have today.
Exactly. Normally, when you see me, I'm just like pajama wear and stuff, and I've like made an effort.
You've worn a t-shirt. I'm flattered.
Exactly.
The Three Musketeers have reunited.
Yes. For those that don't know, Mark, Scott, and I have a little group chat called the Three Musketeers. It's been that way for 3-4 years.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So we got a bit of a weird history linking us all up, if I remember correctly. So,
we do.
So in my primary school, I had a friend called Luke Richardson, and he went to secondary school at a local secondary, which wasn't the one I went to. You, Scott, and Mark, you went to the same primary, if I'm right. Mark went to the same secondary as Luke and became friends with him. Scott went to the same secondary as me, and we became friends. And then, 4 or 5 years ago, Scott and I bumped into you at the pub.
Yeah, basically.
That was it, yeah.
And we've sort of been weird friends since.
Yeah, we grew really attached. We had the same interests, and obviously...
Well, this is it. I knew you two would get along because you both get along with me. So, if you get along with me, then we're bound to get along with each other.
If we can get along with you, Scott, we can get along with nearly anyone sometimes.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Some would say you two probably get along better than me, but,
It could be debated. It's not a debate for now.
Not public.
I think we click differently because we have different aspects about each other that we like.
Yeah.
Well, true. Yeah, it's exactly like you and Mark connect more on the anime side of things.
Yeah, and we're both.
Whereas Mark and I is more like games.
Yes, we do.
It's basically where we normally connect up and stuff.
And you and I, Scott, have more of the Pokemon / the music.
Yeah, the music interest and things.
So we all got things where we interlink, but there's one topic where we're all equally crap at, and that has to be our love lives because they're not great.
No.
Nope.
I think Mark...
to be fair, Mark is the most successful out of all of us. So,
Oh god, this
could call it success.
Well, compared to me and you, Chris, I think Mark's had more successes.
Look, both of y'all here are the only ones who have had relationships.
Well, true. Wait, mine were really short, to be fair, so I'm not sure what that says about me.
Still more than none.
I mean, not mine have been short. They haven't been as long. I guess if you
had
the
what,
experience.
a 10-month one?
Yeah, I was going to say,
but
you're talking about short. What if mine lasted lunchtime?
Okay.
You're talking about short.
Probably don't remember that
Lasted
actually.
minus
Mark.
minutes. I mean, mine have lasted a lifetime in my head, but they don't count.
You've been close a couple of times, I'm pretty sure, Chris.
Have I?
Sure, you
It's
did.
not-
You're gonna have to remind me myself.
I'm sure you've been close a couple of times. There's been people you're talking to that have kind of developed.
I guess in a way, it's the same as like what I have. You can't always see if someone is flirting with you in a way. And
That's the thing. I think that's the issue we all have. We don't know whether someone's being flirty or just being friendly.
Oh, I associate everyone being friendly. If they want to hug me or anything could be close to me, then it's friendly. I don't see it as anything else.
Yeah, I struggle to see anything as flirting because I don't know. I can't recognize flirting.
I can't.
Well, that's the thing. We haven't experienced it enough, I suppose, to realise. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my past relationships, it's been. I wasn't the one to see it was gonna kick.
I mean, how long have we got, Mark?
Oh, I don't know.
It can last
It's not
however
like I'm
long
going to
you
go
like.
silent this time.
Uh,
Not after before when I went like completely dead set.
yeah,
quiet.
3 months off.
Hey, oh, it was
Oh,
bouncing.
Well, have time to yourself, explore. Yeah, like recharge.
yeah. it's
Come
time
back to yourself.
I appreciate time to yourself, but you still need to let people know you're alive.
Yeah,
yes.
because if you don't, you get someone nagging you, basically be like, "You heard from him? You heard from him? Is he still alive?" And I'm like, "No."
That's this
Oh.
guy.
Oh, it's when I came back. I remember when I came back and you guys gave me a lecture. I was like, oh no.
The thing is, I know where you live now.
Yeah, you do.
To be fair, I don't think that was quite as bad as what we put in the group chat that time, Mark. That group chat that was saying like, no, normal group chat. And then Mark drops a bombshell and you're like, what? Wait, what? Doing what? You're like, what am I this out on this time?
Oh,
You
yeah.
both like, oh, we didn't fill you in? Yes, you didn't fill me in.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
There's one time one of my, let's say one of my flings, or let's say relationship, was going very downhill. in a way.
FTW.
Not-
It was an FTW. Let's not
Yeah.
beat around the bush.
No. And obviously where I've talked to one side about it, I thought I put it all in the group chat.
Yeah,
Well, I
you
didn't.
told me directly and completely forgot to tell Scott.
Yeah.
And then he.
And
And then he-
then when I did
And then
put
I
the
had to
message-
deal with the fallout because Chris decided to go and have dinner with his parents one night. It was just like, okay, cool. This is fun.
Oh,
It was me just
God.
messaging Chris like, you back online yet? Get back online yet? You on your phone yet? No. Get back on your phone.
It's
Oh,
when
I
you came
can't
back
have
on
dinner.
Yeah, Chris came back
Oh.
online. What, 100 messages that night?
123. I actually
Yeah.
know. I was just like, I'm so glad my phone was on silent because I think my stepdad would have thrown it out the window.
Oh, it was a weird conversation. When you look back on it, it's quite funny.
Yeah,
At the time,
it's funny.
was not funny.
It was not funny, yeah.
Like,
but we have learned from the situation.
Exactly.
oh,
It
yeah,
hasn't happened since.
yeah,
And
we've
keep
learned.
everyone informed.
So, well, we hope we've learned plenty.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've matured and seen what I actually want from one after my failed ones. I want more of a companionship than
Yeah,
I can say lust.
Yeah, I'm companionship.
What about you, Scott?
I can imagine
I
Scott
mean, I
being
would say I'm
time-based.
companionship too, but like, I think
can-
it just it's kind of like open to seeing what
Yeah.
like happens and stuff.
I-
And like, I don't like putting labels sometimes on stuff. It's just like, well, okay, let's see where it goes. And like, I do obviously want companionship, but like,
Yeah.
you chat even if they just want like friendship or something, then like that's not bad.
I want companionship, and is it surprised that being the teddy bear I am, I want cuddles like the most? But I
Well,
can deal
yeah,
with, like,
you're just a
minimal
cuddle
contact.
monster.
I am. The cuddle monster. Forget the cookie monster. I am the cuddle monster.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
We
it
get that
works.
t-shirt.
I am the cuddle monster.
Christmas sorted, Mark. Cuddle monster.
If you could get that on a t-shirt, or actually no, get it on a hoodie. I would love it on a hoodie.
Oh, I tell you, app hoodies are good. But obviously, going back to the topic of so obviously, what do you guys look for in someone? Don't have to be specific. Could be vague if you want. What do you see? Do you see more of someone with common knowledge, or someone that's a bit out of character for yourselves?
Well, I mean, I look for someone that's got like similar interests in me. Like, I like them to be intelligent. Like, intelligence, if they say something like out, like a little bit like out there, like that not everyone will know about a subject, like that kind of immediately piques my interest.
Fact of the day, yeah.
Like, gives me like a unique animal fact or something you don't expect people to know, and then you're like, oh, hello.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
you are full of those animal facts.
You've got more knowledge than I thought, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
But like, intelligence is definitely attractive.
That's good.
Yeah, I have to say, I like being able to converse with people, even if they sound a bit dim sometimes. I don't mind that, because as long as it's got like a passion behind it, what really grabs me is when people have a passion about the topic.
The best thing.
Yeah, that's a good trait to have. Actually.
Yeah, well,
being passionate about what you do.
My most recent crush has a really good passion, and they love working with it, and it's one of the things I was just like, oh damn, like that's what really got me. They've got.
That's the thing. You want to like further that passion. Like, I know some people's relationship, people have like squashed that passion. Well, oh no, you can't have that, or like stop people kind of doing from stuff they love. Like, I would never want to do that. But if someone wanted to do something,
I'm one of them little fans, just trying to build the flame. Like,
exactly.
You eat.
Admittedly, Chris, that just looks like you're playing a little violin there, just like.
It does. It does. It's all this violin territory.
Oh no! But no, I can. What about you, Mark?
You know what? For me, I don't know. Obviously I see companionship more where like people have got traits. If they're into gaming, then it's brilliant for me. But the other thing as well is it's like almost we bring something new to the table, so we're all got our own interests, but we do come back for a mutual ground. I wouldn't want someone, I guess, clingy, as I've had experience with before.
Yeah, no good.
I would probably want to go more like, not like myself because I'm different, but someone that's driven. I'm more chilled and relaxed, and I'm fine like that. But I would want someone that's there that would be the one that says, "All right, let's do this," and yeah, I'll go with it, and I'll support them and what they want to do. Yeah, basically, free spirit. Me, I'm more chilled and relaxed. I don't need to go out drinking all the time with them.
Depends on what they're chilled and relaxed on, I think, sometimes. There are points where if someone's too chilled and relaxed, then it can get a little bit more nerves. You kind of want someone similar, like driven in ways that you are, or even if they're like too chilled and things are happening, and then suddenly like, well, now what am I meant to do? Like, okay, cool. It can be annoying sometimes.
I also I would prefer, this is actually your preference, if they're good at giving gifts, not to me, just to like people in general, because I am terrible. So I need help in that department.
I mean, they do say a lot of times opposites attract, and you do find sometimes the people you're attracted to are very different in a lot of ways to the way you are, in the way they do things, and the way they act. And sometimes to people that is quite attractive.
I think for me, I can't. I mean, I think I've had a relationship with someone where I think we were opposites. We did have some common ground, but then we were opposites at the same point. And there wasn't stuff that I wanted to do what they wanted to do, or I wouldn't want to constantly keep going out as such, whereas they wanted to. And going out mean like more having drinks all the time doing this. I would more want to do a casual stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could probably both, me and Chris probably both agree with you there. We are definitely the same with that. We do like to spend a lot of time like watching films, like going to the theatre, being a little more sociable rather than like going out drinking. Like if we go on to, for example, the subject of dating websites. Like if I ever see someone on a dating website, for example, that says they like to go out drinking all the time and stuff, for me, that's instantly, I'm like, I kind of disregard them completely and just go,
That's the Tinder left for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have that energy anymore, especially since I've pretty much gone sober.
Yes.
Which is going to make later bar chats things quite interesting because it is bar chats and we were going to talk alcohol. But, I might be non-sober by then. It's just at the moment I'm not drinking. So obviously we've just spoken about how, things we want now and on more recent sort of endeavors. But let's take it back to like secondary school time.
Well, we're going back in history.
I mean, I don't know too much about your secondary school years, Mark, but I know a shed ton about Scott's. And years like mine were full of fanciful crushes on people. Like my list, okay, I didn't have a lot of people of the people I crushed on, but I still had a considerable few. So,
before Mark speaks, I do kind of want to interject into this purely because of what you just said. I think back then, like, we were a lot younger, so we were a lot just like, oh, this person has said this. So I know for myself, like, you'd see like an attractive girl, but oh, cool, she's quite nice and stuff, and then she would say something or do something, and then something was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. So obviously, you go and potentially explore that and stuff. Like, I know out of probably all of us, I had the most different crushes, but I suppose purely because I've probably potentially been the most vocal of us about them. So, like, I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, obviously, I know a lot about Chris going to the same secondary school, but we obviously don't know about Mark. But like, I was definitely a lot more vocal with. I was trying to be a little more different than I am now. I suppose a bit more out there. Like, okay, this person looks interesting. Let's try them, for example, or let's see what happens here. I mean, oftentimes I would normally screw it up, but I did actually come close once. I'm pretty sure I did actually come close once, and then like being younger and more stubborn, I kind of screwed myself over. But there was actually one time where I did actually come really close. So
yeah, I could always tell that when you had, because you had a very distinct look upon your face.
Yeah, I don't know if all of those I had were actually real, but there were some that were. There were some, I think, that progressed a lot more than others. But then, we could say quite a lot about sometimes people would think you had a crush on someone just because of the way you acted around them.
Oh,
I know that's quite a common scenario for you, Chris. With a lot of people used to think there was a couple of people that you used to like purely because you would do things being friendly, like what obviously we would associate with being friendly, but other people would see them being like, oh, okay, maybe he likes this person, that's why he's doing that. But no, it's just because you're just a generally friendly, helpful person.
There's at least two scenarios. So
yeah, I was going to say I can think of at least two scenarios.
And both of them were sixth
form. Yeah, one was in one was in sixth form. I don't know. Technically, I would have said both were almost in sixth form.
They both were. They're both in my head are.
Yeah, I was going to say they should both be in sixth form.
Unless you've got more.
No, they're both sixth form. One was because I started driving and I was offering someone a lift home on a frequent basis.
Oh, that's fair.
And that was year 13. And one was when my best friend and everyone could have sworn I was in a relationship with him. I was just like, no, she's just my best friend of like a decade ago. Just
that's the thing. I think that's how she was. Like, you and her just acted like how you normally are around each other, like when you're not outside of school and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously people didn't see that. People be like, when you're younger, obviously you're a little bit immature, so you see things like that. Oh yeah, we must fancy each other, or those two are dating. But, they weren't always. I think we can think of a perfect example, Chris, of two of our friends, obviously, that did date once, and then they were literally just really good friends, and people thought they were still dating. But no, they were just really good friends anyway. Yeah, they broke up, but they still had the connections and stuff
that
they had.
Now. Which is great.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not really friends now, to be fair.
Must be different people we're thinking about. Must be thinking about a different couple. Anywho, now on to Mark. Let's get the tea on you, sunshine.
So, in reality, I couldn't tell if they were crushes or was just interested in the person who they were, and I wanted to get to know them better. So it was a mixture of like it was crushes but weren't. I had one for sure, but then obviously they were in part of our friend group at the school, like knew all of us, and then they have actually been with obviously relationships with people of that group as well. No harm or foul between any of us. It's one bit I remember like meeting up with them at one point, and whereas I thought we were close in that regards, we turned out we weren't. The attraction was definitely on someone else and not me. So then I kind of feel
oh, that's
like
rough, buddy.
I'm not too involved in it. So then I kind of thought, well, I've come out of my way to meet up with all of them. Like, not the whole group circle. It was more like there was like a few of us there, and then there was more affection going on. I thought I came out because they wanted me to, and then I was almost getting like no interaction at all, and I felt like I'm just here for the sake of a number, so I'm gonna go leave. And then it didn't affect my friendships with the ones that were getting affection.
I mean, interjecting slightly here, but would you say because like a lot of people like that person fancied a lot of the people and liked a lot of people in their group, you say that's the reason maybe the group was formed? Because I know I've had it in like uni and like stuff where we think a lot of people fancied this one girl and it kind of all revolves, the whole group kind of revolves around her. And obviously, is that potentially similar to your situation?
No, our circle was there way before this person even came. Like we a lot of the group we were been friends for like so. We were in like the first years of school. This was like late years into high school. So we were friends with we were like different years as well, and we would like just hang out, talk about stuff. So it was definitely not formed just around that one person. I think she had found a lot of us. Each one was unique. But that was the thing. It was interesting. I mean, I wasn't showing as much attention as I would otherwise to it because I wasn't receiving anything. So I was hanging out more with my friends, and I think I kind of gave up on crushes and looking for anything when I was in school. It wasn't what I was interested in. It kind of put me off.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of us were more focused. I think, especially Chris, I think you can vouch for it. But I think you kind of decided like you were more interested in your studies and like other activities, and then obviously then you kind of stopped kind of crushing on people and had like very few because you were more interested in stuff. And I think if like we go back to maybe nowadays, I think we've kind of moved like now from the crush stage and just kind of thinking, well, I know personally speaking from experience, like myself, like I would definitely say like more nowadays I'm kind of just not really like looking for anyone or crushing on anyone, more just looking at like what happens and like if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah, I had, as I said, quite a short crush list. I had like 3 people between the years 7 and 12. Whereas I did focus more on my studies. Yeah, I crushed hard on these 3 people. Don't get me wrong. I was a miss, especially on the first one.
Well, definitely the first one.
But the first one, I never really got to shoot my shot properly because people ruined it for me. But that's a whole different ball game. But that is a drunker conversation. But yeah, but I did I don't really have time to think about relationships now. I was oddly mature. I was just like, no, as much as I would love to try something, A, my nerves are shot, I can't do it. And B, I should really focus on my studies.
School life is interesting.
Exactly.
I mean, here's a good point, following on from this point. Did you ever tell them, or did they ever find out, any of yours, that you crushed on them and stuff? Because I have done this actually a bit later in life. I have actually told a couple of people that I have used to crush on. And they were like, I had no idea.
First person definitely knew. I've had that conversation many a time. Second person knew. I am no longer friends with that person because we fell out over it, and that's what scarred me, and I haven't been able to ask anyone out since. The third person, I don't know. Not a clue. Technically, I've got the numbers 4 and 5, which were like mini crushes in year 11. And a third person was year 12. But those were my 3 big ones. Crush 4 and 5 were like little crushes. And I'm not really fussed whether I tell them or not. So, yeah.
Mark, did you ever let any of yours know?
No, they never figured it out. They never knew. I'm never gonna. I never told them, and it's never gonna arise to anything. So there was no point in mentioning it.
I did tell in person with words one person, and turns out they did at one point reciprocate those feelings, but at very different times.
Oh damn!
It was just like they had one up on me during primary, and mine didn't come till quite a bit later, and now just nada. So
how do you feel about that then, Chris?
I'm just fucking pleased that someone had a crush at me at some point.
That's a good way
I'm just happy that someone found me likable enough to have a crush on me. I'm just taking that. That's a win. I don't care it wasn't at the same time. Someone did. So
and that is important.
I'm just going to leave that as a high note.
I mean, it must be. It must you must kick yourself.
No.
I mean, I've had it a couple of times where people have told me afterwards, and you just kind of kick yourself like, "Damn, did they really?" I'm like, "Oh, like just because I think sometimes I know, like confidence is a lot of an issue for people with this."
It did a wonder for my confidence,
which is good.
I didn't kick myself at all. To be fair, when they told me, I was pissed out my loot after a night out. So both of our guards were just like not there. We didn't really care what we were saying, or just like we have a lot of honest conversations when we're drunk, so it's cool. If you like our content, please consider supporting us on Ko-fi.
So obviously we've talked about previous crushes and like high schoolness and all of that jazz, but obviously one thing that Scott mentioned earlier was online dating. That's one thing that's definitely trending more now with lockdown.
Yeah, that cluster shell.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what's your experience with it then?
Mine was interesting because I don't remember how I got into it. I think a friend at first thought, all right, you should get Tinder. It's just for like laughs in a way. Like you can match with anybody. And because where I worked, I was getting the English side and the French side. So I had a mixture of that.
Oh, sacre.
But no, I mean, to be honest, until I got into one relationship, I was talking to 2 interesting characters, and it was quite interesting. And obviously, if I didn't go into a relationship with the person I did, I might have progressed with one of them if I kept talking to them. Obviously, I never went back to it.
Okay. Scott, you've got to have something.
I mean, to be fair, like a lot of the time, my experience is that people stop talking to you after a while. Like trying to convert it from like online dating to actually meeting someone is a lot more difficult than it actually seems. I mean, if we go on Tinder, for example, I'm sure you've both had it where in cases where like you've matched with someone and they've not spoken to you, or you've spoken to them for a little bit and they've ghosted you afterwards, and you're like, what was the point? But then you have other conversations. Like, for example, I'm having one at the moment, really, where I'm actually talking to someone and actually it has properly continued. And like we're having like a proper full-on conversation. And like this is probably the longest conversation I think I've actually had with someone online. So, you know, it can work and people can respond, but it's one of those things that not everyone agrees with. I mean, some people are like, some of the people are, oh, I don't want to do online dating. I don't find it for me. And obviously, because you've got to talk about yourself. And obviously, one of the most hardest questions in life is basically trying to describe yourself. With online dating sites, you've got to like describe yourself, like pick your characteristics and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, pick your characteristics. Which one? The ones which are you. Yeah, which one? Yeah. No, I do not flourish well on dating apps. Like, I couldn't even write my own bio properly because I have no idea what I was doing.
I've rewritten mine like 5 times, to be fair.
I didn't even write my one. My best friend wrote this one.
Oh, I know. I never wrote one, actually. When I first went onto one,
No, you're a stud. You'd be fine. You don't need a bio.
Well, I think it helps, to be honest.
I didn't know.
I do actually think it helps. Like, I do try and read anyone without a bio. All you see is their picture. You're like, well, are they fake? Are they real and stuff? Like, because this is a big issue at the moment with especially with online dating. You do find there's a lot of like catfishes things. So like, at least having a bio and stuff, it does show you that it's kind of you a little bit more. And like, you get to find a little bit more about them. Like, I will oftentimes, I'll see someone attractive, like, I'll look at their bio, depending on what the bio goes, whether, for example, if you're on Tinder, whether you swipe right or you swipe left on them, depending on sometimes what the bio says. Like, be a really attractive person, and then their bio will say
something you disagree with,
like certain things that you don't find attractive, and then you're like, well, that's okay. Then
like, join my Snapchat and all that, which is like, it's
or like
those are the fake ones. They're just like, join that. I think my bio sums me up pretty well. I personally think. Chunky yet funky. I mean, I did not write that, but I am chunky, so
it works.
Love to sing, probably too much. Yeah, probably. We'll watch a Disney marathon. I did that yesterday. So that's pretty accurate. Nerds and geeks are the best. Yes, I do like my nerds and geeks. And then it's at the bottom, it's got eclectic life taste. I can't disagree with anything on that. But my match rate is probably 1 in 60 right swipes.
But then again, you're finding the people that you want to find. You don't want to find people that, I don't know, just one hookup and that's it. Does that make sense?
Well, some people are rather honest. Some people will actually say, you know, I'm on here for a hookup or I'm on here for a threesome or something. And like, that all depends on your personal taste. Like, some people use that. I mean, you've got different types of online dating sites. You've obviously got those like Tinder, that's obviously the more the match, the relationship, and then you do have the others that are more associated with like hookups,
like Grindr.
Yeah, I mean, for example, for that, and I'm sure there's others.
Yeah, I'm sure there's others, but when you say just for hookups, my mind does think of Grindr, because I do think.
But then you probably will find people that will use that will actually be looking for something more. It's not. I don't imagine there's everyone that'll be saying, "Oh, I just want to do that." But you know, we are all human. We do have all our urges, needs,
requirements.
Yeah, I mean,
satisfaction needs.
So that's the thing. Like, that's why it varies whether online dating is successful or not, because it's how you are like. For example, those of us like a little bit more like introverted and a bit more shy. Online dating will obviously be a little bit better for you, rather than going out into a crowd of people and then trying to talk to people. I know. Personally, I go to a crowd of people and I will just suddenly be quiet, and I'm just like, okay, I've just taken all my surroundings stuff, and then you slowly start to talk to someone. And that's when you find you become you come across a little bit more.
Yeah, I find that I'm completely fine with starting conversations with random people. I'm bloody good at it. However, after about a few minutes, my mind goes, okay, that's your social capability gone. I'm taking this away now. And my mind just goes, and I'm just like, why am I like this? Which is why I always need like someone I know with me.
Makes
so
sense.
they can like recharge my brain. So I'm like, I don't have to be social with this person because they're my mate, and I can just be a dick with them. It's great.
But then, do you see in that respect? Do you then find online dating easier because of that, or?
I actually find online dating equally as difficult because I'm just awkward on a keyboard because I don't know what to say.
To be honest, I would agree with that. I mean, I'm better over face-to-face value, but it's once I've known someone, I can talk to them. Whereas you can't type the same as how you're saying something because your tone takes effect. Like sarcasm, you've got to be very careful because some people do take it in a dramatically bad way. Not saying I've done it to a dramatic level.
But then you just got to find a topic. So find a topic. So talk music. Like this is why I find useful about bio. It's like if someone's mentioned something about it, you can bring up that topic, and then it gives you a bit of conversation to talk about. So, okay, I see you like animals. Like, what animals do you like, for example? Like, have you seen the animals? Like, what's your favorite animal and bits and pieces? What draws you to the animal? It then gives you topics of conversation. And then generally, when you find a topic to start with, you then continue with it, and then the ball rolls, and then you go, oh, well, then you can talk about anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. One thing someone did tell me, because obviously they asked if I was still single and stuff, and I said yeah, and they said like, oh, what you could do for your bio if you were to go back on it is what a lot of people do now is they'll have in the bio, ask me or tell me about your favorite game, or like as you said, animal. It'd be like start off instead of just
exactly. You do get people that just give you a topic to start off with.
My least favourite one of those is tell me your favourite pickup line because I have none.
No, I don't.
Like,
it's cringy.
I mean, here's a good question for you. Has your online experience ever translated into meeting someone in real life?
No.
Almost.
I have.
I've gotten one Tinder match onto WhatsApp. And that is the extent of it, and now we don't talk.
Actually went to a zoo with someone.
No.
I actually found one online, started talking to them a bit, and I went to the zoo for a day with them. So obviously it gave me a point of conversation to talk to them in real life about, and it kind of allowed them to see a little bit more of me, and it allows you a little bit to be a bit more yourself and stuff. I mean, sadly I don't talk to them anymore, but it was a good follow-up, and it does show it does work, and people are willing to meet, and you can talk to someone.
For me, I just need to do it just one time, just ask someone out on a date. I haven't done it for nearly 11 years.
It takes guts, I will say.
Yeah, but 11 years, Mark.
Yeah, but there's different ways how you can always do stuff, as they say.
And speaking of, like, I should ask someone on a date. I've not actually had a date. Yeah, I've technically not been on a date. I've been on one almost date, but that's about it. But I know that you've done dates, Mark, and you've done dates, Scott. So, the fuck do you do on them? Give a bro some help.
Okay. So, obviously, everyone's like watched TV, everyone's seen how some of these dates go, and it's like, do you have to take them to an expensive restaurant? Do you have to take them there? No, you really don't. It's depending on what you want to show somebody. You could, I mean, there's the ballsy way, and like you invite them to your home, but then you kind of, that's scary.
Quite assumptuous, isn't it?
Yeah. So
it is, but it also exposes you in a different way. Like it is assumptuous to say, oh, you might want something more, but you also have to think it also exposes you a little bit more because they then come and see into your world. They then get a little bit more of a feel of you. So, for example, if someone came into my room, for example, you can instantly probably get a notice of like,
you have a thing for animals.
Yeah, like you'd instantly learn about like animals, like things like you have a look, see what like DVDs and books they had. You instantly start to learn a bit more about them. So it does expose you a little bit more. But it's also a good method of the topics of conversation and stuff. Because you can see someone in someone's room and go, "Oh, I see you've got this series. Like, what did you think of this?" and stuff.
That is a solid point.
Like the term Netflix and chill, like you doesn't have to always end up where it means to go. I mean, I've met people before, and we just literally sat and like had Disney marathons, and bits like that. Like you just had like a nice time getting to know someone doing a different topic. I mean, like I said, I've also gone to a zoo for a day just because it gave me a different topic to talk to someone. Like I know first meets and first like dates can be really awkward. You just got to take them somewhere, like do something where you can take the awkwardness off. So going to a zoo, for example, is a really good aspect because you could, you've got all the animals around. Oh look, there's a lion and stuff, and then you could
basically do something which distracts from the awkwardness.
Yeah, basically. So like distract from the awkwardness. You can play it to your advantage. For example, obviously, Chris, you're really into music and stuff. Like you could take them, for example, to a concert or something, and it would give you something, a topic of conversation to talk about. It gets you to show you a little bit more of your areas of interest, what like you're really fond of and stuff. Like, for example, as we all know, like my area of interest in animals and stuff. So taking someone to a zoo can really show off my animal knowledge and stuff, and show like my passion for animals because it's a great topic.
Yeah. So for Mark, it would be like a movies, because Mark is really into his movies. Mark really likes his games.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Mark could like go play a game with someone and stuff, and like could show them like,
does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, like an arcade game, for example, like show how the tips and tricks and bits for doing it. Like you could play like a game of Mario Kart, like, oh, did you know about this shortcut here and that shortcut there and stuff?
Like a game of Mario Kart, you fool, you will lose.
Yeah, but then it also becomes, the thing is, that will be a great game because it begets a little bit more of competitiveness between you and stuff, and see whether they are competitive or not competitive.
I'm not overly competitive, but Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Brawl are my two trigger games.
Oh, they are.
I am just like, let's go.
I mean, weirdly, I would always find like a quiz. Like I'd love to take someone for a quiz, for example.
Yeah, I love quizzes.
Because you would get to know because quizzes have such a broad range of questions. You get to know some of them more because they'd answer a question like, oh, that's a good thing. I didn't know much about that topic. And stuff. Like everyone has.
My other area of interest is obviously, look at me, it's food. I wouldn't do like a fancy restaurant. I'd be more like a buffet style restaurant.
No, but if you knew like there was a good restaurant, like and stuff, you could take them to. Yeah. Like I have like almost a favorite restaurant. But obviously, that was when I went to uni. My closest one is like a couple of hours away now, but there's an awesome restaurant that I love that you can get foods from like all around the world.
Your closest favorite restaurant's a lot closer than my closest favorite restaurant. Mine is in a different country.
I mean, mine's like a couple of hours away, but like I'd love staying there and like show them like what you like and stuff. But
mine's a couple of hours away by plane.
Yeah, I mean, but another way of food is that if you enjoy cooking and something like that, there's the perfect and good oldie having a picnic in a public place. A park.
Okay, that was not why I thought you were going there, Mark. Weirdly, I was kind of thinking about ghosts there and like pottery and like helping them bake.
Well, you could. I mean, it's not wrong.
Pottery could be a fun one. Maybe not the whole ghost thing, but like pottery painting, you can just see their creative side.
I mean, escape rooms. Like the trend at the moment is for escape rooms. Like take them for an escape room. Yeah, you might not do well, but it puts them under a different.
Yeah, you get to sort of like stressed.
I tell you what, escape rooms are very good, and yeah, it would be good for a day because
it's also good team-working skills.
And creativity. You think something different, and they think something different. Add it together.
Like, let's put this out there. Go on then, Chris. Where would you, if you could take someone, what would be your ideal date scenario? Let's put you on the spot here, and let's go. Okay, let's give you a moment to think. Mark, what would be your ideal date scenario?
So obviously, as I would actually take them out to, obviously, if we've got the same interest, I'll take them to the arcade. And if there's an arcade near a beach, then I'll take them there.
Deal Arcade.
Well, yeah, basically. So
Brighton
go
Beach.
there,
Torquay.
have games. And then around the area, you're going to have plenty of places. Like you have small cafes, or you might have like maybe an ice cream stall, for example. You've got a nice beach that you can go for a walk, or just, and then if it was to say it got dark, you could watch the like stars. And that's what it'd be. It'd be casual. You go in, play a bit of games, get to know each other, see what they like. And then when you go out, you don't need to go for a meal. You could just grab like a snack or something on the way. So not everyone wants to eat on a first date because they feel inadequate about how they eat in front of somebody.
I've composed myself. I have thought.
Okay, go then, Chris.
See, I quite actually like Mark's wavelength. So I've got one or two ideas depending on the time of year. If we're thinking summery, quite like what Mark thinks, but I'd be more like picnic, go on a bit of a walk, just and see how they enjoy it. Like, because I've really started digging walks lately. Like, I like me a good walk, and I know, like, it's one of the corny ones. Oh, I love a long walk on the beach. Actually, I do love a long walk nowadays, and yeah, just enjoy nature. Or if it's a bit cooler or the weather is Shizakoff, I really enjoy bowling, and if it's like bowling with a bit of like background music, bowling's always a bit of fun, and you can just like forget things. And if you get nervous or frustrated about something, you can just throw a ball as hard as you can and just release all your energy. You can just.
They're good. There are actually really some good ideas there.
Yeah.
And that would be, but that's the thing. It's how you anticipate a date. And if you do multiple things.
But it's also playing to your strengths. For example, like, so I have two different scenarios. So the first one, like, would be if it was like summery. There's a nice little place down in Dorset called Pool. And like, you've got a nice little zoo there called Monkey World. So you take them to Monkey World for the day. And then about 10 minutes down the road from Monkey World, you've got some nice like natural like areas of beauty, so like there's a nice cove and stuff, which is nice little really long walk. So like I would take them for like a nice long walk, like maybe get some food or something like fish and chips or something, and then go for a bit of a walk, and then you can have a bit like picnic. Whereas if it was, for example, like winter, like potentially I know popular one for people is like London, so you could take them to London, and like for me it'd be like go to like Natural History Museum for a day. Like you've got a mixture of.
You're going to go for the Natural History Museum. It was either that or the Science Museum.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Natural History Museum, like, where you can go and see animals and stuff inside. And then potentially for the evening, like, take them to, like, either the theatre or something. And then you've got a nice, good chance to introduce them to, like, two different sides. So, like, I mean, I like theatre and animals, so that you can see the animals and stuff. Bits. And then it'd be just a nice, like, full day. It's just kind of a little bit, like, showing you, for example, and like showing, like I kind of, in a sense, kind of use it as a bit of a show off. Like, okay, well, this is the kind of things I like, and this is the kind of things, and then how they've enjoyed themselves at the end of the evening depends on whether like go into a bit of your world.
Yeah, I have a third one.
Go on, Chris.
Not really like a first date, but maybe like a bit later down the line, and that would be like. Bring them to an open mic so they can see me like properly in my world.
That's good.
Well, this is the thing. Like, it's always nice to let people go in, like, take them into your world and stuff. Like, you know, I've got original songs now, so. And it also exposes you because, like, obviously, it's live. Open mics are live. Like, you're totally exposed behind songs. Like, things. It could go well. It could go badly. You know, this could be technical difficulties. Like you're completely exposed, so it would be a bit nerve-wracking. Hence, why obviously you'd want it to be a little bit of a later date, but it would be a really interesting one.
But you know, when you sung two confession songs to your crush and they're in the same room, I've got nothing left to be scared of now, really, apart from actually asking someone out. Like,
but you'll get there. That's the thing. You will.
I'll get there. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Oh my god.
I mean, I would have gone carpe diem, but you know.
Yeah, carpe diem. What will be, will be. Although, you know, if one of us three gets in a relationship, the other two have to do the Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King. And if it's one of you two who get in the relationship, I'm being Timon. I'm sorry. I've already got his character played out in my head.
Fair. That's a fair statement.
But it's like, I mean, going on a little bit from top. I mean, it's going a little bit further down the line of dates. But like, for example, weddings and stuff. Like, you could personalize it even more. Like,
how far down the line are you going?
Well, yeah. I mean, but like, if you think about it, I mean, I'm sure we've all thought about like what our ideal wedding and stuff would be, and like, bits and pieces.
Maybe just you, Sunshine.
Maybe, but
I mean, I'm wearing a kilt.
well, no, you want to be, you'd like want all your friends and family, but you want it like, I'd love it in like a castle or somewhere like different, for example.
I know
like,
what I would want to do.
I already know what you're gonna say.
I want a Viking wedding. A Viking wedding.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you see people have like
I just saw
I know
you
some of my friends recently got married, and their first dance was like started out like nice and normal, and then they made it like completely elaborate, like almost break dancing into the first dance and stuff. And like the reactions and stuff people could get, like flash mobs. You see flash mobs and things.
Yeah, no. Now that you've said it, I need to find someone else that's willing to do a Viking wedding.
Viking Bay and Ramsgate probably do them.
Oh, that'd be good.
If not, it looks like a trip to Denmark or Scandinavia.
I mean, it would be easy enough to organise, you know, it'd be quite fun to organise and stuff. Like,
oh, honey, you both know I'm designing both of your weddings, don't you? Tell me the details.
I mean, that just clearly means we're designing yours, too.
Scott, you've already decided my best man suit for your wedding. I'm just saying, it's got to be better than the one you've picked. I will wear it, just a better one.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
I have the tie.
Yeah, so basically, like, we kind of thought about it, like a kind of almost a multicolored, like
It's a gay suit.
Well, yeah, but it kind of just shows off Chris and like the way Chris is and the way.
It's the way I act around you guys.
Like, yeah, exactly. It shows off his personality and things.
Multicolours for multi-personality, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we've all got them, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I've already decided the colour of your suits for my wedding. Yes, I have indeed.
And somebody said they hadn't thought about it. Wow, see?
Well, I haven't decided on how the wedding will proceed, but it doesn't mean I haven't decided.
He's decided on what we're going to wear.
Okay. Well, I mean, we all have ideas and stuff of, you know, what would we like.
I mean, you're going to enjoy the fittings.
I mean, here's a really controversial topic. I mean, it's like, I mean, I'm fast forwarding further in time here, I guess. But what are your thoughts on like children and stuff? Like, would you want children with a partner and stuff?
I've actually thought more about having kids than I have about my own wedding. That's because
it's fair. I mean, most people do have kids without even worrying about that.
I want at least a little girl. She's going to be called Eleanor Marie Phillips. Mm-hmm. She's going to be a little shit. Because, well, she will be. She's a Phillips. It comes with the name. Potentially as well a little boy called Charlie David.
All right.
I mean, Mark, would you want children?
I'm not against it. I've not really thought about it. I know people do. If I was to have a kid, then I will go with it, and I'll basically develop and show them various stuff, and of course they will be into gaming. There's no surrender with that.
I mean, I have thought about it, but I'm more open. Like, I'm not fussed. Like, if I was with someone and they did want a child, then I would. Then I would. If I was with someone that didn't want a child, it wouldn't be like a deal breaker as such. Like, it would be more like what we both decided.
It's a bit of a deal breaker for me. However, if they didn't want to go through the whole labor, pregnancy side of things, but they still wanted kids, I will be down to adopt.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I just want to raise sproglets.
I mean,
I
don't mind adopting, but it doesn't have to be humans. It could be animals.
Oh no! I'm having a farm. I just want humans with the animals, because at the end of the day, we're all animals. We're just wired differently.
Pretty much.
No, that's the only difference. We are still an animal. We're a mammal. We're just wired differently. All right. So after all those roundabout questions from Scott, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably gonna be our longest podcast to date because we haven't even done the jingle yet.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Don't worry. It's my turn.
It's yours.
Yeah, because Max had my go. So I'll have to pick something up. Scott, you'll discover as you listen every episode. Since about episode 2, we have a jingle.
Yep.
And we might ask you to make one for us. Don't worry. We'll message you about it later. Don't worry at the moment.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, it's been amazing having you.
It's been good. It's been good. It's certainly different.
Have to have you again because there's other things we will want to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah.
So
it has just shown, like, we do just go off, like, we kind of started the topic and then we just kind of continued the topic.
Yeah, this has pretty much just been one really long topic on the same thing. We've had subtopics in this topic.
Well, yeah, we've had subtopics, but that's the thing.
But it's been a great having you. Honestly, I look forward to doing this again, and I will catch you again at another time. So, see you, Scott.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, buddy. So, folks, obviously, I'm hoping you really have enjoyed this podcast because it's been like an interesting topic we've had with Scott. I mean, I'm sure Chris would agree.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad we didn't go too deep into it. But no, there was a lot of things that we didn't get to discuss, which I thought we would have with Scott, considering what we know. But I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting us to ramble about one topic.
Yeah.
So
I really mean.
So let us know what you think. I'm thinking he's gonna be back in season 2.
Yeah, I do. Because we've got many things to talk about. I mean, as we said, we are the Musketeers. We're each different. We are different entities that we come on. So, obviously, do stay tuned for our podcast. And, obviously, I love to hear you guys' feedback. And I would love topics if any listeners has got it. Obviously, we have got Discord. You can always send us a message on one of our social medias. We are on Instagram and Twitter. We will have the links up on our YouTube as well. So, do feel free. Our next episode we are planning would be released on the 24th.
Ooh, 24th. Nearly spooky time.
It's coming up to the spooks of Deed. Now, obviously, we had a good jingle last time. Our reactions were priceless. If you've not seen it,
your reaction was priceless. No one recorded my reaction.
Yeah. But obviously, because that was one of our guests, and it wasn't one of us, it now falls to the one, the only, my co-host, Chris.
Oh, damn. Of course it's my turn. You didn't forget that it was actually my turn. I didn't have a lot planned for this one, so let's see how this one goes. So, we chat, we drink, we laugh and game. Come along, it's never the same. We're happy and mad, sometimes we're sad, but at the end of the day, BarCast is for the way.
Hey, that's good. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
For you to come up with that on the spot, that is good.
It was just something I scrambled together quickly.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting what I've got to do now.
Yeah, well, if Scott doesn't make us one, it is you next.
Yeah, I reckon I probably will be next. But folks,
Liam, it has to be a member of Will.
Yeah, it has been a pleasant, folks, and I'm glad you've listened to it. Now, I hope you all have either a good morning if you're just waking up, a good night, or good evening, and stay positive, even though we know it's all locked down.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure if you have been listening to us.
Drink your water.
Mm-hmm.
And we will catch you again in a couple of weeks.
So,
Bye.